welcome to the Pretty Xtreme podcast. I am PX Floro. I know it has been a while because, you know, life happens and just good stuff happens and bad stuff happens. And I kind of record this show whenever I just feel like it. So if there's anyone looking like every Monday or Tuesday, you're probably not going to get it. And on top of that, there's really only a few listeners. So for those who are continuing to listen to the Pretty Xtreme podcast, thank you so much for listening. And we have a special episode because I have a Pretty Xtreme guest in the house. You want to say your name?
Hi, I'm Molly Sokhom.
Yay! So if you don't know Molly Sokhom, she is a favorite comedian of mine, female comedian of mine.
Thank you.
From out here in the Bay. And I think it's so funny because I've known you since of my comedy career.
Yes.
And I want to say we just started like hanging out on my 11th year of doing comedy.
And I think I met you on your first year at a showcase in San Jose.
Was it a showcase?
Or an open mic. I think it's an open mic. And yeah, that was ages ago.
I know. And now here we are still.
And we're just hanging out. What the hell?
Not much has changed, but I have to say, since we've been hanging out, it's been the most amazing experience because I tell you, like I'm not like this, but I'm down to try new things. And the first thing that Molly made me fall in love with her, she didn't make me. I just fell in love with her when she hits me up and she's like, "Hey, you want to go watch a movie?" And I'm automatically thinking it was like a rom-com. And so I was just like, yeah. And I'm on a show with Jeanette. Shout out to Jeanette Marin and Ivy Cordova. I was on a show. It was a backyard show, meaning it was in the backyard of someone's house.
It's a fundraiser.
It was a fundraiser. Yep. Shout out to Prime Time. So we were doing the fundraiser, and then I think you hit me up. You texted me, and you're like, "Hey, watch this. You want to go watch this movie?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was telling Jeanette and Ivy, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go watch a movie. You guys want to go watch?" And they're like, "Oh, tell her to come over." And I think at that point, you were already over the somewhere. Maybe. I forgot.
Well, anyways, the girls thought I was just asking you randomly on a girl date.
I don't even think that's what it was. I was just thinking like you wanted to watch a movie. And I'm like, I wouldn't really go watch a movie. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do it because I had nothing planned.
It's also rare for me to go just watch a movie.
See?
Okay?
Do you watch movies by yourself?
I used to.
See, I've never done that.
I
rarely even eat by myself. If I do, it's like in my own house or like in the car, like not even, I just started doing that like in my 30s. Yeah. So like watching a movie by myself, no, I won't do it. You won't catch me. So you invited me.
Shoot, I used to go to concerts by myself, girl.
See, yeah, that's crazy. And that's what makes it funny because all these things I wouldn't do by myself, I ended up just tagging along with Molly.
Well, she's like, to open your eyes to new things.
You know, I'm still not going to be doing that shit by myself, but you know,
I'm just really good at convincing you to do it.
It didn't take too much convincing because you're like, "Hey, you want to watch that movie? Talk to me." And I was thinking, maybe it's a rom-com, you know. And I'm trying to do different things, you know what I mean? Like things that I wouldn't regularly do. Like I wouldn't just regularly go out and go watch a movie like last minute. I'd be like, I got plans, but I was like, all right, let's go watch this movie. And then I think after the show, or when we met up at the bowling alley, you tell me, you're like, "It's a horror movie, bitch." And I was like, oh my God, I fucking love you.
The only reason why I asked PX, I'm not going to freaking invite you to Bridget Jones' Diary.
I don't know. I don't know.
No.
That was the first time we hung out, right?
That was the first time.
That was the first time we hung out. And we've been inseparable ever since.
It's beautiful. This is a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, they're all witnesses.
You don't even go bowling. I said, let's go bowling.
Yeah, I don't. And we went. And then we went to watch the movie, which is actually one of the best movies I've seen for 2023 in all horror movies. So
loved it.
I'm trying to think of like that. That's the one that sticks out the most.
You know, it's an Australian movie. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Is it?
I think so.
Yeah. They had really cool accents. I love accents that are not of my own.
It doesn't bother.
I love accents. It doesn't even matter. It's so exotic.
I used to live in New Zealand. That accent is ridiculous.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't pick it up, right? For the amount of time you stay there.
No. I am from the Bay. I will always sound like this, but I did pick up. Okay. So I used to say hella a lot in New Zealand, and there were a couple of Kiwi friends. Now Kiwis are New Zealanders, and we just call them Kiwis. That would pick up on hella, but they only learned it from rap songs.
Kiwis are New Zealand in Australia.
No. New Zealanders call themselves Kiwi.
Oh, okay. They're locals.
Like
them locals.
It's
yeah.
like, they call them, it's a slang.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're Kiwi.
Oh, okay. That's cute. Yeah. Is that where the kiwi's from? Or is that a bird?
Kiwi is a bird.
Oh,
it's
a bird.
A flightless bird.
Is that where, then I'm assuming
it was like the national bird.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
It's sad. It's a flightless bird, and it hides in the dark.
Which will it make sense? Because it can't fly nowhere. So if anything's trying to attack it, they're just like run.
I know, it's the cutest though.
Okay, sorry. And you were saying,
I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah. I didn't bring back that accent.
The hella. You were saying the hella.
Well, yeah.
Were they calling you out on it or something?
Some people, they just knew that I was American, very American.
Did they ask you what hyphy is? Stuff like that? I don't know.
You know what was weird being out in New Zealand? So I used to live there, and I was there for
let everyone know.
6 years.
Okay, 6 years. That's why I was saying, it's crazy you didn't pick up,
No. I was known as the very American. I was the Cambodian American. I wasn't even Cambodian
Molly,
to them.
They're just American.
I think I got reviewed at one of my shows or something, and a reviewer said something like, they called me urban. And I was like, excuse me?
That's cool, right? Isn't that cool?
Don't know what.
Oh.
I didn't think I gave off a.
It's because you're from the Bay, bitch.
I guess so. They were hella crazy. Yeah. We're thinking that.
Well, and then it kind of wanted to tag on that. Like how, I don't know if you're following the whole thing with Keith Lee visiting the Bay. And how he was saying about as a tourist, I wouldn't come here to be a tourist. Now, I want to hear your feedback on that because we're from the Bay. You know what I mean?
First of all, I had to Google who Keith Lee was because I saw it on my Facebook feed nonstop. It was after Cat Williams, and I'm like, okay,
right.
There's too much going on. Who the hell is Keith now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I Googled
I saw
him.
that before it became in the feed. Yeah. But I was like, but then same with you. It was just all of a sudden you're seeing who Keith Lee is.
So he's a wrestler, right? He's a
or he
WWE.
Used to be. Is it WWE or a MMA or something like that?
I think it was WWE.
Really?
From
wrestling?
2018.
Keith Lee.
Yeah.
From
Am I getting this right?
But we're talking about the Keith Lee who came to visit and was eating all the food.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to look him up and see if he was a fighter. Keith Lee.
I could be very
MMA.
wrong.
Yeah. So MMA.
MMA.
Close. Yeah.
Okay.
MMA fighter.
All right.
Which makes sense. And I only know that because I was watching his video and it looked like a video of him. I've done this or whatever. So what's your opinion on that? So just a back end. It's about an MMA fighter talking about food all over, and he was telling everyone he's coming to the Bay, and this was the first place he was doing his tour. Is what it was.
Okay, so now where was he in the Bay? First of all,
he was primarily, from what I see, I didn't go through every video, but it sounds like just San Francisco and Oakland.
Okay.
But I didn't go through everything. But the two videos I did watch, one I believe was from San Francisco and the other one was from Oakland. And some of them he was giving props. He's giving it ratings, And then you can read the comments that he posted a video of the comments that people say about him coming to the Bay. And then people are like, please don't bip him. And he's like, well, now that I know what bipping is. And I was like, oh, is that a Bay Area thing too? I thought that was a culture thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't get bipped, but he.
Good. Oh, first of all, who the hell is taking him to these places? Is he
his wife?
He's doing the research on his own, or his wife is doing research on his own?
He's being referred. Everyone's like, oh, if you're in the Bay, come check this out. And that was the first place that they were touring, which is the Bay Area. So I guess they're going all across the nation or wherever to where he's living to kind of do this video. And the part that I thought was kind of interesting was he has an allergy to shellfish.
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, and that part kind of boggles my mind because I'm like, if a customer is asking you specifically, hey, do you cook that food on the same food as the shellfish because I am allergic
and I could die.
I want to know what that business was. And I think he says it, or that think people guessed it or whatever, but that shows how much of a professional he is.
Right.
Because he could have thrown them under the fucking bus and he didn't. And then everyone's scrutinizing him about his comment. Like, if I were a tourist, I wouldn't tour out here. I get it. We're from the Bay. And I'm like, no, I see why. Because people are getting fucking bipped. But at the same time, I feel like it's like that almost at any other place. There's a hood everywhere, right? You know what I mean?
And I also think our food is great. I mean.
Same.
And the thing is that I think there's controversy about, where he ate and the East Bay and the South Bay, it's different than San Francisco and Oakland. And
I don't know if he visited the South Bay. I wanted to see just if he did, but I don't know if he did.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm from the East Bay and I live in Union City and, close to Fremont. There's good food.
Well, and I just want to be like, can we stop caring about what people eat? like, okay, he's having a fun. Go ahead and read it, but don't lose your minds over this shit.
It's because we're obsessed with what people eat. We see it on Instagram. I constantly look at
what they're eating
in Vegas.
I know.
And in Paris. And I'm like, God damn. Every time I watch IG, I just see the one thing that bothers me is the giant bowl of plate of French fries and they just pour a shitload of cheese on it. I'm like, okay, that's a little much.
Why?
It's disgusting.
I don't mind cheese fries from In-N-Out.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure this is another country. Like, this is their thing. They just
fries and cheese,
cheddar cheese everywhere on bacon and meat,
And it's a big old bowl.
Big old bowl of French fries. First of all, I hate soggy fries. And
I don't mind them sometimes. I know.
Are you high right now?
No, not high enough.
Okay. I'm also very hungry.
Yeah.
And if I start talking about food, I am hangry as hell.
I got a it's either called a dosant or a cronut. It's like a croissant donut. We tried when we went to Vegas, which that's what I want to get to. So since me and Molly been hanging out since the movies, we have gone to Aftershock.
Which is a music festival.
We went
music rock festival.
Yep, music rock. I've never been to a festival, period. I mean, like a food festival, yeah, but not like where we're there for a couple of days and we're literally just rocking on. And then also went to Billy Roy's, which were like amazing food,
Billy
right?
Roy's burgers.
Shout out to Ivy. Ivy was there.
Shout out to Priscilla
for taking care of us. She is amazing. Tell Priscilla we said hi here from Pretty Xtreme Podcast. She's gonna be like, what is that? PX and Molly. Say PX and Molly.
Billy Roy's Burgers.
Yes, and they are in Fremont. So be sure. I'm gonna call this Fremont episode.
Why not?
We said Fremont probably, I don't know, probably 10 times already. But shout out to Fremont. There's a lot of things going on out there. And what was I gonna say? Oh, back to
things we've done together.
Things we have done together. And so Billy Roy's, and then the next thing we did was we went to Vegas.
Isn't that just...
And
that's so fun.
It was fucking amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. I can't wait to do it again. I missed gambling so much. I'm going tomorrow with my parents, but that's different.
And all of a sudden, I have FOMO.
What
the heck? I wasn't invited with your family.
I'm like, Mom, Dad, Molly's coming with us.
Also, no, I don't want to be held hostage with my own family. I can't be held hostage with your family too.
Oh yeah, no. My family's crazy. Like, I'll probably be text messaging you and calling you and be like, dude, can you save me right now? But they're all right. I love my parents. They mean well. You know what I mean? I love my brother. He's a good guy, but my mom was already asking me, are you going to drive? And I'm like, no, I don't want to drive. And she's like, okay, well, you can sit in the back with me. I'm like, I don't want to sit in the back with you because I'll get car sick. Right. And she's like, okay, your brother will drive, you will sit in the front, and me and your dad will be in the back. And I'm just kind of like, cool. Just how I like it.
Bring that Dramamine anyway.
Oh my gosh. And I've never had to drink Dramamine, but does it knock you out or does it just not?
No, you gotta get the non-drowsy stuff.
Oh, okay. So they have drowsy too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just get it over the counter.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the last time I went to, a close by home, like casino, was with my parents when I moved back home. So I moved.
That was
back
your
home.
welcome back.
That was my welcome back to the States from New Zealand, and I came back 2 months before the fucking pandemic.
Oh man. Was anyone sick around you prior to the pandemic that you remember or recall?
No.
See, my parents were both sick. So they did the shutdown in March.
They definitely had it, yeah.
Right? And my parents were sick in December. And they were like both sick. They were both in bed. The lights were all off and shit. I'm like, dude, you guys okay? They're like, we're so sick. And I'm like, okay, what happened? They're like, I don't know. Then boom. And I was like, I bet you that's what you guys had. But at that time, they didn't have the testing thing.
They didn't have testing, and people were just kind of whispering about it. Yeah. You know, they're kind of like unsure about restaurants. Listen, okay.
So wait, what was happening in New Zealand? Have you guys gotten wind of this? What was happening over there? Were you guys all cool about it, or?
Okay, so obviously I wasn't there. I was here when it all happened, right?
Oh, okay.
But because those are my friends all over there. You know, I was following along, and they were really good with their shutdown. Right? As soon as we shut down, they pretty much shut down too. They shut down hardcore though.
New Zealand did.
New Zealand did.
Oh,
and like seriously, also when government says, yeah, nobody leaves the house, you need to get your groceries delivered. If you need medication, we will have a delivery guy deliver your medication to you. What else was a little different? Oh,
we didn't think of that over here.
People, it's so small too, and they understood, like, shoot, if stuff gets around and spreads, it's going to be quick to a very tiny country, and that's a problem, right? Yeah.
So they're being mindful of their citizens.
Yeah, and they were really strict. They would I would see stuff like, my friend would say, every time I went outside just to get some fresh air and work out and exercise, I would get the death glare.
Oh my God.
Right? And people were like, why you outside? You better take your ass back home.
It's like that out there.
That's a little too much. And then the hippies started protesting.
Yeah. Oh, so they had hippies over there protesting too?
Okay. This is when I started unfriending some people because, I have a little love for the hippie. I have a lot of hippie friends, and I made a lot of hippie friends over there until I started seeing videos and recordings of them protesting outside of the parliament. But this is how they were protesting. They were just it was like they made it a whole hippie festival, like outside of parliament.
It was like Woodstock outside of parliament.
It was like Woodstock. They were fucking making veggie beds and shit.
Veggie beds?
They were growing vegetables out in like the freaking soil.
And what's the government doing? They're just watching them do it?
They're just watching them do it. And the thing is that government workers are trying to get through.
Right.
And then these hippies are dancing around and their kids running around, nobody wearing masks. This is a time when everybody was wearing masks.
And everyone's locked down right now.
Everybody was locked down, but they were like, no, we're done. And we're not, they're anti-vaxxers and things like that. And I said, oh God. I knew I needed to stop following them because as soon as I saw a friend, quote unquote friend, post a video of just a whole bunch of hippies dancing to, what is that? Fatboy Slim's Praise Me.
Oh no.
I was like,
you've got to praise me like I should. Oh, and then I said, God.
Fuck you. I am unfriending your ass. You're done. You're donezo.
No way. Was it a bunch of them or was it just like a handful?
Huge. It was.
But that you knew was it like
there was a few friends that stopped by and hung out with their friends.
And you could see it because like one's posting and it's another angle.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hate on everybody. Right. Some of those friends are really close to me.
Yeah.
But they were out there for a long time.
How long?
And then it got, I don't know how long exactly, but it felt like it was just weeks and weeks and weeks. Just imagine, remember
weeks
in Berkeley,
is a long time.
When everybody was camping out in front of the city hall and stuff and occupying, they were occupying that grass and the tents.
Yep.
It felt like that.
But they didn't do that like that long.
Yes, they did.
How long was it? How did they do it for?
They did it for a long time. It was a long time. Oh, I think that's what I remember, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. But, yeah, those hippies were out there a long time, and then it started getting nasty out there. Everything was muddy.
Yeah, and
then there was people actually just running amok. Like, the hippies were also, like, really angry about the people who just wanted to be destructive.
Yeah.
So people were actually throwing shit around and making a mess.
Vandalizing. And they're like, stop stepping on my veggie bed. Like,
they wanted to turn into a family-friendly event.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And so have you gotten it? Have you gotten COVID?
I've gotten it twice.
Twice. Okay.
Yes.
I've gotten it once.
And the first time, that was horrific. It was horrible.
You were here.
I was here.
Okay. Quarantined, I'm assuming.
I was quarantined. I had a boyfriend at that time. Mm-hmm. And I actually thought, I said, you get tested too, like I would assume that we would be both.
Right. But it doesn't work that way.
At the same time. Well, you can't expect to have COVID at the same time. Basically, it just destroyed me. I thought I was going to die.
Oh my God. You're that sick.
I lived in a studio apartment by myself. And I felt like I was damn near death. And I couldn't breathe. Like, it was like very hard.
Did you have to go to the doctors or anything?
No, I just.
You sucked it up?
I sucked it up for 2 weeks.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
2 weeks. And my ex-boyfriend so he actually got COVID like 3 days later than me. But he was
after you're already cured. You're already cured.
Well, no, I still, but basically I was such I was going crazy. I literally, my mind was going absolutely crazy. I was by myself. He had brought me groceries at one point, masked up and everything. I was like, that's fairly sweet. But then as the days gone, I just tortured him and on the phone, constantly bugging the shit out of him, basically just taking out what I was going through out on him. And he's like, you're blaming me because I didn't get COVID at the same time as you?
But then he got it.
And he quarantined by himself, and I still was getting over it. It was bad. He actually broke up with me while I had COVID.
What?
Who fucking breaks up when you're near death?
I know, right? So what'd you do?
Oh my, I went fucking batshit.
Did you break down your door and run out on that fucking street? Like going crazy?
Oh my God. Yeah, I was doing.
But I mean, okay. I feel like as humans, we have to give ourselves a little bit of credit, because if you're like naturally a social butterfly, if you're naturally easygoing, you like to go out, but not all the time, like, and then you shut it down like immediately. I feel like that gives a mind fuck to people, because. Oh, yeah. And I mean, you, in your case, you're living by yourself, but you're in a relationship. And then on top of that, you get dumped while you are recovering from COVID.
Because he couldn't deal with my bullshit
while
I was sick. That's how bad it was.
That's when you know someone doesn't love you though, right? Because I mean, like, they can't handle you at your worst type of bullshit. Like,
it was pretty fucking bad. Like, I'm a little nutty.
Yeah, it's okay. We love you here. It's called Pretty Xtreme.
I'd call him like 20 times a day. I'm like, why don't you fucking pick up? Pick up right now. Fucking pick up. Text him. Pick up the fucking phone. You motherfucker.
And mind you, he's working during these times, right?
Yes. Because I'm unreasonable. And I'm self-centered. I care only about myself and the pain I'm going through, the physical pain I'm going through, and the mental pain. I went nuts.
Yeah, that makes sense. And how far in did this moment happen from when the breakout? So,
that was the next year, 2021.
Year. Okay, so things have lightened up.
Yeah,
a little bit. People are probably still wearing masks, right?
Wearing masks. Yeah.
And that's when you got COVID.
Yep. And then we tried to get back together.
But it was different
because he wasn't done. Oh yeah.
Oh, he wasn't done?
No, listen.
What do you mean he wasn't done?
We weren't done with each other. Okay. But we both resented each other after that whole thing. I'm like, and I will never let that down. I was like, yeah, you remember the time you broke up with me while I was on COVID? While I had COVID? Yeah, I was near death. Like he did it over the phone.
I've heard a similar story like that.
Over the fucking phone, because
not even text, or he heard his voice.
First just text, and then I just made him, like, talk to me. I'm like, come on, be a man. Be a man and talk to me. You can't be face to face with me in a breakup. Oh yeah, but when I'm near death.
Did he FaceTime?
No,
didn't even
none of that
FaceTime.
bullshit.
Oh my God.
Okay, good
I'm
riddance.
so sorry.
Good riddance.
Yeah, we're in a better place now. How many years ago was this now? It's probably like 3 years ago.
I don't know if I'm in a better place.
3 years ago. I mean, we're in the studio, the lifestyles of the mid-class and somewhat famous, you know.
I'll take that.
You're international.
I'll take
you
that.
know. I think it's awesome that you're able to talk about that, and I have to give you props because some people can't necessarily admit like they're the problem. I'll be the first to say that I'm always the one to be like it was me, and majority of people are like, no, it wasn't you. And as your friend, I want to say, yeah, it was a little bit. So just a little bit you, and it's just me agreeing with you, and not only just agreeing with you, seeing both sides. Well, I don't know really that side, but it takes a bigger person to hold themselves accountable and be like, I was a little crazy, but it makes
always
sense.
Me. It is literally always me. I am the common denominator of every issue I've been in. This is a lot of self-reflecting. I did this all last year, and I'm still working on myself right now. Shit.
And so I ask all the guests like what makes them extreme, but I feel like you've kind of explained it. Like what would you say like what is pretty extreme about you? And to me right now it sounds like an emotional roller coaster that you've been through, but now you're at the age where you're like, I know I'm the one doing it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of beyond that. I always wondered, like, why do I always have the crazy stories when I talk to my friends and tell my friends and share with my friends? It's because
I think you've met your match.
It's because they can't relate to it.
Yeah.
And I just kept telling myself, God, are my friends fucking boring as hell?
No, they're not. You're just the.
I was always the crazy one,
yeah.
like almost getting arrested and getting into fights. 2 fights in one night, and
mind you, how tall are you, Molly?
I am 4'10".
She's a fucking firecracker. That's what I like to, when you tell me the stories about you. Yeah, a total scrapper. When you told me you were fighting, I was like, I'm so glad you're on my side. I'm so glad we're friends.
Well, this is beyond it. It's beyond being a little crazy. I find out I had a lot of therapy, right? And I had therapy while I was in this relationship and trying to work on myself. And he's kind of like, I think you need to work on yourself on your own without me. He let me go because he cared about me and he loved me.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't take it. I have abandonment issues.
Hurt. Yeah, and I bet that hurt.
Yes, girl.
Yeah.
But then I have a mood disorder, okay?
Yeah.
And then find out this is all borderline personality disorder.
Okay, so you're breaking it down.
Yes.
So what are the symptoms of borderline personality disorder?
Oh, there's a lot going on there. You're very impulsive, destructive behavior, fear of abandonment, a lot of self-harm, extreme mood swings, unstable relationships, and major anger issues.
Maybe. Well, I think I should go see a doctor.
and I mean, people kind of, have questions about BPD for short, and like bipolar disorder. Right? They kind of confuse the two. It's a little different with BPD. I think you have a lot of different emotions all in one day.
Wait. Bipolar disorder, which is also BPD. And then there's borderline personality disorder. That's fucking confusing. Okay.
Yeah, but bipolar, everybody knows that.
Yeah, right.
BPD, I guess not so much. But everybody, a lot of people
I feel like a lot of people have some
symptoms,
type of, yes,
right?
I was just going to say.
But they don't have it all in one.
Well, and I feel like
together.
Right.
Kind of. That's the problem. That's the thing.
Well, and I feel like with disorders or any type of challenges, it can be a mild case, right? Or severe or extreme. And I remember being in college and I was taking a psychology class and they said 1 in 4 people are schizophrenic. And it's not necessarily, right? It's not necessarily severe, right? And when it finally made sense was just last year, because I remember my cousin was telling me, Mark from Ground Stack, shout out to Mark. He was like, hey, have you heard of that thing where like people can't hear an inner monologue voice in their head? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when you think, right? Like you can hear your voice in your head. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so not everyone can do that. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, so some people, when they think, there's no voice. And I was like, that's weird. Like,
right.
But it's a thing and it's rare because most people don't think with the voice in their head. And that's where the schizophrenia kind of like tuned in and aligned up. And I was like, oh, maybe there's like a mild schizophrenia in there, right? Because we can hear, and it's not just my voice. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but like I can hear, like, say for your example, like your voice in my head. You're like, nope, don't do that. I wouldn't fucking do that. Or fuck yeah, go do that, bitch. Like
all the time.
You know what I'm saying?
I have that inner voice, and I do have the angel and the devil, like on my shoulders.
And it's a voice, right? It's an actual voice that you hear, right? Or a thought, or it's
the thought. It's telling me, no, don't go back to your car, go home. Don't do this. Don't take the next step. Don't get yourself into trouble, But then I always go, no, I'm fucking doing it. I am pissed off. And and I think that's my major problem is like a lot of anger issues is really extreme and mood swings. I mean, I have never had a stable relationship, and I never had anything more than a year because we've had trauma. Yeah. Both of us had major trauma in our life, and I have generational trauma. Fuck, I live with my trauma now. My parents.
Asian. I think it's because we're Asian. There's generational trauma right there being Asian. So how do your parents respond to BPD? Or do they?
It's so crazy. I actually had just recently talked to my mom about it. And I said, Mom, I've always had these issues. And she's like, yeah, I know you do. And I said, it's actually called a thing. It's I have, BPD, borderline personality disorder. And then when she hears disorder, she's worried. She's like, oh my God. She doesn't understand. This is kind of a lot of people have this and a lot of people have these symptoms and stuff. But I said, so what do you think? And she's like, well, you were always like that when you were young.
Yeah.
And every time you yelled at me, I was so used to it.
Yeah.
And she just lets me do it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to cry. At that moment when she told me that, I feel like I've just abused my mom for my whole life.
But I'm assuming it's different now.
It's different now because I live with my parents now.
Yeah. That's common. I feel like that's a lot more common nowadays.
Yeah.
Especially with Asian families.
Yeah. But I don't talk to my dad.
You don't talk to your dad. You talk to your mom.
I talk to my mom. My mom is the middle person. Me and my dad have a very strained relationship. We fight, we butt heads.
You're not a daddy's girl.
Because we're very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if he had it too. He's, and it could be what is it? Yeah, it could be passed on, right? Mm-hmm. That disorder can be passed on. Generational
I
trauma.
100% believe that.
Yeah, and we're Cambodians. We've gone through a lot. My dad's gone through a lot. We can do a whole nother episode and we can talk about that another time. But
well, we always have more time here, so just a FYI. Well, watch one of these days we're gonna be back, and you're like, okay, so I have that time now to tell the story. So I actually have like a drop-in co-host that usually kind of pops in the podcast, but she's not here today. But she text messaged me saying, if you have a second, can you call me back? I have a quick question. So I'm going to try to call her right now. Okay. And we're going to see how the audio works on this, because I think I've only done this like once. But when I did it, I fucked it up. So we'll see if this works. And let's see if she answers. Oh, it's working. Okay, cool. Hold on. Hey, I have you. So you're on the Pretty Xtreme podcast. I was going to call you because I saw your text message. I have Molly here and me, and I wanted to call you because you said I have a quick question. Can you ask it on the air?
First of all, who are you?
Oh, this is Priscilla.
Hey, Priscilla.
Priscilla, Molly, Priscilla.
Yeah.
You're on air, so we get... Yeah, okay, go ahead. I was like, you're like, it's going to be really quick. I'm all, okay, cool. I can ask, we can have her get on the air real quick. So what's up? Where are you heading
Molly.
to?
Hi.
I'm headed to the open mic right now. Remy's open mic.
Oh, the Blue Max. The Blue Max. That starts at
the Blue Max.
6, right?
6:30.
6:30. Okay, 6:30.
I'm number
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think she kind of gives everybody however much time they want, depending on how many comics show up. They just need to be done by a certain time.
Okay, it's not her running it.
It is her running it. It's her open mic, unless she has someone
tonight.
else. Oh, not tonight? Oh, it's somebody else?
She's
Oh.
the guest host.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's the guest host?
I don't know his name.
Oh, it's okay. That's part of the Pretty Xtreme podcast. They're going to be like, she didn't remember my name. I'm just kidding.
To be fair, I've never met him.
You haven't met him.
I'm running late. No, I haven't met him. But my other question is, I'm about to meet with the owner of a restaurant. After the open mic, I'm going to meet with him about starting a new open mic on Thursday.
Ooh.
And they got someone to sponsor us.
What?
And I was just, and I've never had a sponsor before, so it's my first sponsor.
Yeah, congratulations. I don't even have a sponsor.
I don't even know how to do that.
Yeah, well, that's good that you got one. So congratulations. So they're going to be sponsoring the mic.
Yes.
Now, do you have a relationship with the owner of this place?
I have I met this comic. His name is Christian Castaneda.
Shout out to Christian.
He runs a Spanish. Yeah, he's super funny, and he's the reason I have the room. So I asked Noah if he wanted to co-host because he offered it to Noah. So I thought, well, why don't we just work together? Noah Jones is another.
Shout out to Noah Jones.
Funny person.
There's too many comics.
I know.
There's
too many.
The Take Shop. So we're meeting tonight, and I was just wondering, like, I have never dealt with a sponsor before, so it's just like.
This is a good thing because how sponsors help, it's like cross promoting, right? Sometimes there's things that in the agreement with the sponsor, they say, hey, you name drop us this, then we'll do this. Or sometimes they'll be like, hey, this amount of dollars, can you keep putting us in your flyers, promoting us on any podcast or whatever it is that you guys are trying to do for the open mic. So kudos to you. My brother owns a business. I've been trying to get them to sponsor me. And
or is it like
your brother's a dick.
Yeah, he is.
Like comics,
I'm just kidding. He's not.
Also, are you trying to get comics? Are they saying, hey, bring people in?
Yeah.
You know, like you got to have this amount of people or this sale at the bar or food.
Yeah. See, so those are the things that you kind of want to talk about in the meeting tonight that you get when you guys see them. See, they're hearing like Comedy 101 on the backside because no one knows that all this stuff happens, right? When we do mics, people are just like, I'm going to show up. And then here you're like, okay, this is my question. And this is a good question because people have no idea that this even happens during or before a comedy show. So it's a really great question. So yeah, that's kind of the things you want to discuss. Like what are their expectations? That's always a good question. Like what do you want out from us? And then they'll tell you, and then you're going to say, this is what I want from you guys. So it's kind of like a support thing, right? To keep that sponsorship going. And then, when do you guys plan on opening this mic? Next couple of weeks?
On Thursday, we are going to have our first Thursday next week. And
shit.
It'll be at Sabor in San Jose off of Alum Rock, 2920 Alum Rock, San Jose, California. Tell me why I can't remember like anything important unless it's like I can only remember really important things, and those important things are usually something that's like it's important, but like. You know, I didn't remember my son's first birthday, so.
That's not that important.
I'm like, he's never gonna know. It's his first birthday.
So Priscilla, you're gonna start promoting this venue to comics, and the restaurant is going to be promoting from now on till Thursday. I mean, it's the turnaround time is really quick, but
Right now, the goal is just to get comics in there. So we have like some people in comics. If you are going to an open mic, please buy something. If you don't drink alcohol, fuck, I love alcohol. Find someone like me and buy me a drink. Buy me too. Like, support that place.
Well, and that's.
I know you run. Huh?
If you don't drink, get a non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
beverage. It's okay.
Yeah.
Or get Priscilla
or an empanada.
shots.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you this earlier, PX, restaurant has empanadas.
Oh, really? But that's not all they have. They have other stuff. They have like rice plates and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they have enchiladas with fried chicken. They have ribs. They have a lot of good stuff. They have beer. There's gonna be an area where comics can hang out.
An area that comics can't hang out, or can? Can. Oh.
There's a
special room.
Because you know how we all like to gather.
Like a little green room area.
Green is the key word.
Like a green room kind of area. All right, so next Thursday. Next Thursday is the plan. So for those who are tuning in, this episode will be dropping before Thursday. And that would be Thursday, just so I have the date here, Thursday the 18th, January 18th. Looks like it's going to be your first night.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Christian wants me to call it the Cochina Open Mic, but we're still throwing ideas because Noah's on there, and I can't really call it a Cochina Open Mic. So we're looking for a name for it.
I don't know, but it'd be kind of cool if we had an empanada battle. Or like bring your two best empanadas, and I'm gonna bring my two best empanadas, and then we're gonna do a podcast on it, and it'll be like a takedown. So I think that'd be kind of funny.
You gotta mention your empanada restaurant, though. You gotta mention it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna do it during the plugs. Casa Guzmania is the place, and yours is El Sabor, right?
Yeah, it's just Sabor.
Oh, Sabor.
P-O-R, just in case I'm messing it up.
Yeah, no, you said it fine. Okay, well, we're definitely going to check it out. Thank you so much, Priscilla, for letting us call you.
Unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Right now.
And does it sound clear on your side? Does it sound clear on your side?
It sounds really clear. Yeah, it sounds really clear.
Awesome. Yay, we know it works. So we have to have you back on the show because you are technically the co-host here. So we'll have to have you back soon.
I've been going through some shit, man.
I know. We can talk all about it. When you're back. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you.
Love you.
Drive safe.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
That's cool. I was like, that sounded pretty clear. It sounded like a regular phone, which was cool. I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to sound.
I thought you were going to say, oh, that's cool. She has a new open mic. But you're like, oh, the sound is amazing.
Well, I mean, that's cool too. That's cool too. But yeah, the sound was just like, wow, that sounds really cool. Like, it's like as if we're both talking to her on the phone. You know what I mean? But yeah, and congratulations to Noah Jones, Priscilla Torres, and Christian for getting a new mic in San Jose up and running. I think this is great for the community. You know what I mean? And my goal is to help other comics just kind of like hold on to dear life while they can. If they let go, they let go. But it's nice to see people building stuff in their communities where it's like a safe haven, where we can test our jokes. And then on top of that, build an audience and get, fans that also support local live comedy. Because I think we need that right now. I think there's just too much. Like, I laugh at dark stuff, like dark comedy, like disgusting stuff, like people falling down and getting hurt. Like, I laugh at shit like that. And I don't want to say I don't like it because I wouldn't be laughing.
What a bully.
I know, but that's the thing. I'm not a bully. I'm more of like an observer because I'm just like, okay.
No, we all need to laugh.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And that's why this is why I do it. Yeah. Right.
And then you'll laugh at half of those people on the open mics, but
right. Maybe less, sometimes less.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, you've been doing comedy how long?
Ugh. I hate saying it.
Why? No, you should be proud of that shit, bitch.
I started in 2008.
2008, that's when I had my kid.
Yeah, so 15 years.
Yeah, that's your baby. It's my baby. Okay.
15 years. So it's the longest relationship I've ever had with anyone.
Maybe that's why. It's like a give and take, right? Like something had to take from, right? And maybe if you weren't doing comedy, right, maybe relationships would be a little bit different. But that's the thing, you are a comedian.
True, exactly. But I'm not that person either. I learned that,
yeah.
for me.
I see you, and I see that's what I see is like this bitch doesn't put up with shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
And you should take that as a compliment because you're a fucking badass. You're hilarious. I want to do plugs right now. So in addition to you being funny and hilarious, where are you at next? Where can people find more about you?
You can find me on Instagram. Follow my link tree. I always have like the shows and dates on there. You can
your link tree's on your Instagram?
In my Instagram bio, so you can go in there. Link tree, whatever dash.
What's your Instagram?
Molly Sokhom, Sokhom, and my Instagram is Sokhom. MSOK.
Is it Sokhom or Sokhom?
I say it both.
Yeah, because that was confusing me. I was like, wait, have I been pronouncing it?
I'm saying it very Cambodian. Okay? I'm saying it very Cambodian. And
okay, so how does...
I like to throw people off.
Okay,
sometimes.
So which way is the Cambodian way?
I say Sokhom.
Sokhom is Cambodian, which makes sense.
Yeah, and then other people will be like Sokhom.
Right, like soak.
Yeah, soak 'em wet.
Yeah, don't say soak 'em, but okay. Okay, and I'm glad you said that. You're Cambodian, because I mean, I'm sure people are trying to imagine, like the 3 people who listen to this, probably my parents. I'm sure they're like imagining like what you look like or what you know, because you can't tell you're Cambodian just from your tone. You can't even tell that you're 4'10" from your voice.
Because I have a big personality.
Yeah, you do. You have a huge personality, huge heart.
Aw,
huge heart.
you. Well, just like you, like not a lot of people know what you are when they see you.
I know. That's why I love it.
You know,
yeah.
me, PX looks Chinese, right? And she's Filipino. Well, I'm Cambodian, but I look Filipino.
Yeah.
Right? Just look at me in the front, Filipino, on the side, Cambodian.
Yeah. Which there's another Cambodian comic who I love too, K Chang. And I recently saw him. He was talking about Joe Coy. So that's kind of like what I wanted us to wrap it up on, because it's, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in controversy. Like, so not even controversy. It's like people are talking about it. And a lot of it has to do in the comedy scene, which is rare, right? As far as like all of it at once. So there was the Cat Williams recent, which you watched.
Yes.
Right.
I watched the full interview.
Right. And then there was
3-hour interview.
There was the other thing that people were talking about, which was the Joe Coy Golden Globes. And there was one more thing. I can't put my finger on it, but there's one more thing that I feel like people have been talking about. And it's recent. It's fairly recent, but maybe, I know it was Cat Williams and Joe Coy, or maybe those are the 2 things. But it's, again, specifically towards that comedy community, that comedy network. And hearing that information, now that you've actually fully watched the Cat Williams, I do want to get your opinion, because I've been on the fence of hearing people. I mean, I have no opinion on it because I haven't watched it, but from the clips I've seen, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. He sounds like he's telling the truth to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just my opinion. Who might have called him a liar? I'm nobody. You know what I mean? That's
what I got from it. And you know what? I felt inspired.
Like, watching Cat Williams.
Yes. Like, he inspired me, the way he speaks on these situations and people.
And heavy hitters, right?
Yeah. And listen, to be honest, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's hilarious. And I think he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know? He's very eloquent.
Yeah.
I've
always liked Cat Williams when he was doing his stand-up too, like in the very beginning. But then once I started doing stand-up, it wasn't like, oh, that guy's hella funny. It's like, oh, that's clever. That was very well written. Like, you know what I mean?
And then it got me watching his special on Netflix, and then I was like,
the old one or the new one?
It was new, 2022.
Oh, okay, so it is new.
Yeah, new.
I always have that one in my head where he's like, you could be working at McDonald's and this song, and I can't remember what song it was that he was playing, but his bit, it was like what he started with in his show, and it was fucking hilarious. He's like, you'd be working at McDonald's and that song still sounds gangsta. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And then I was like, laughing so hard. And then now if I watch it, I'm like,
Not the same.
It's different, you know? Different. Now that you're in the art, I guess you could, so to speak. And so as a comic, how do you see him? You said you feel inspired.
I feel very inspired about like just being a good human, because that's what I got from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was talking about his life growing up and him just trying to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he said he's an atheist, but he's doing stuff for God.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be seen as God's son. It was very interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
He would talk about what, adopting kids and paying, dancers.
He adopted kids?
Yeah, he adopted like 6 or 7 kids.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good person to be able to do that.
And he would get people out of really bad situations. Aww. If they need money, he's got money.
Remember that
But he did talk about how he got a lot of money.
Right. Well, remember when he did that thing, he went crazy and he was like on a motorized cart, like doing crazy shit at Walmart. Do you remember that?
I don't know. Listen,
I don't know. I didn't follow that part, but I remember, like, that's one of the things that I remember. I was like, what is he doing? Okay.
He's not pretending to be an angel.
Yeah. No, he's not a saint. No one's perfect.
No one's perfect. He's lived a crazy life.
Yeah. But everyone got to know him on a different level after watching that podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then, of course, the Gigi, the Joe Coy, and that's what I was saying, Cambodian brother, Kate Chang, he posted a video, and I recommend following him, watching him too. He's funny. And he said a very funny ending to it. He's like, Joe Coy even did a movie based off of his homeland, Daly City. And I was expecting, and it went completely left, which was clever. I loved it.
That's cute.
And I thought it was cool that he made an opinion and he made it funny, and like no one was like insulted by, his comment. You know what I mean? But what I've also noticed is that a lot of Filipinos are either insulted or like insulting him, like, but what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is it's an old joke.
Yeah.
That is going to be, it's going to be told every time, right?
That's why it's steamy and rice.
It never gets old though.
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been reused a couple times too.
Yeah. I love KJ.
Yeah.
I know it's family.
No, but it was it was good, and I like how he made his opinion on Joe Coy, and it was not really anything negative, because I did see another influencer who talked about Joe Coy's thing, and they just like ripped him to shreds.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I did not watch.
I watched some of it.
I watched the clips they shared, but I did not. This is so bad. I didn't want to watch I feel so awkward and uncomfortable for him. If he did a 10-minute monologue and it was like no laughter, I would feel so bad. But I did see the clips that he did, and that some people didn't laugh and some people laughed. I was like, that's all right. That was okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too.
He's okay.
It wasn't terrible.
They didn't know him. That audience doesn't know him.
Yeah. I feel like that's where he kind of was a little bit at a disadvantage. Not a lot of people knew who he was, but I don't know. I give him props because he did it. You know what I mean? Like, you did it. You're up there. But part of me is just kind of like, this is your all, dude. Like, if your goal is to make people laugh, just fucking do it. This is your once in a lifetime chance. Will he even be getting invited back? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I felt like if I were in his shoes, I'd be like, fuck the writers right now. I'm going to be me. And if they love me for being me and they're like, we're never going to have you back because you were being you, then fuck you guys. Right. There's a purpose in what he does as a comedian off hosting the Golden Globes. And I know they want certain people a certain way, but if this is your one chance.
Yeah. And if he's good off going off the cuff, that's what he should have done. But it's also this first time thing. And if the writers were like, if the Golden Globes were like, nah, man, you got to stick to the plan. What are they going to do?
Pull the plug? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they did be like, okay, fucking pull the fucking plug. So what would you do in that situation? Let's say, because you know what's funny. You yourself as a comedian doing it for a while, like, you know what's funny, and you've hosted hundreds of shows. Like, if you were put in that situation and you kind of, because you can see through the teleprompter what they're going to be saying, right? Would you kind of go off the cuff and be like, you know what, I think this is going to be way funnier than what's on that that thing, teleprompter?
Going off the cuff.
Would you go with it?
Going on off the cuff for that audience, I'm not sure.
You're like, I'm just going to read the teleprompter.
Either I would have researched and practiced and watched all the
They're
movies.
saying he didn't have enough time.
Didn't have enough time?
Mm-hmm. Remember, they said he didn't have enough time. He was just booked for it for 10 days ago. 10
days? Every day you work on that show.
You're watching every movie, every song or whatever
you work
soundtrack
on that show.
Yeah.
And my thing, if I was up there, oh God, this is horrible to say.
It would be a dream for me.
Really?
Yeah. That would be a fucking dream. Like, I love hosting, and to be able to host something like that, I wouldn't
would be afraid to constantly sound like a predator, because all I would do is just
start
complimenting every hot man in that room. This is what they don't want, okay? You know, and then I accidentally find somebody way young, and then I'm a pedophile.
Yeah,
I don't need that to happen, okay? At the Golden Globes.
Well, but I don't see you doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know,
also,
I see you.
I'm not threatening. I'm 4'10" and I'm adorable.
Right. Well, I could see you being like Bradley Cooper. Is that you? Is that you? Like, that is you, right? Like, but to me, it's like, it's cute. You know what I mean? You're not going to be like Bradley Cooper, meet me later. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
so would have said that.
Yeah. But again, it's funny. It's simple. It's not anything that's probably written on a script, you know? And I think people would enjoy watching you. Like, I've seen you live, you know, and I feel like you have good hosting skills. And as much as you say that you're like not even, when you were doing that, so okay, not only have I done those other things, I did a dating speed dating event with Molly, and I had so much fun because it was just like something different, and I've never done anything like speed dating. And the jokes that you just tagged in on your own, you know what I mean? Like, you made it fun, you made it exhilarating, and it made it like want people to come back and be like, oh, I want to go do this again.
Yeah, it was interesting trial run with
no, it was really good. It was really good. And I feel like if you were to host the I can see that same clever energy, right? At the Golden Globes. That's how I see you. I don't see you being a predator. I think if you got it out of your system, like if they had the monologue, you're like, okay, give me 5 minutes of just getting it out of my system. Right. Then you'd be fine the rest of the show, you know? Or they're like, okay, we're giving you another 5 minutes. That was a hit. Do it again.
Now I would just be a matchmaker.
Right.
Just be on that stage, just putting people together.
Yeah. No, that'd be
bringing
good.
people. That's what I like. I like
bringing people together. And you do that.
I do.
You do. So when we went to Aftershock, I met your friend Harvey.
Yes.
Yep. I met your friend Harvey, and he also
Harvey.
Connected us with one of his friends and her kids at the festival. And then when we did Vegas, I connected with your best friend, Linda. Shout out to Linda. And
Crazy Linda.
You do like bringing people together, which makes sense because I feel like that's part of who you are, and it's kind of, to me, it teaches unity. Like, you can get along with other people, because I'm a hermit crab. If I'm not doing comedy, I'm just home by myself with my fucking 14 animals. Like, and I'm okay with that. You know, people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm busy. Like, you know what I mean?
It just makes me happy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm
bringing your people.
I like bringing my people together. And you know what? I have there's some girlfriends, big group of girlfriends, 16 of us. We don't get together all the time, but I will be the one to be like, let's do something. Come on, ladies.
Yeah, for your birthday, gather.
Let's do something for my birthday. Come to a comedy show all together. Let's go out and dance our asses off.
I feel like birthdays are the easiest times to like gather people together.
No excuse.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's my birthday. It's the one time of the year that we can go fucking hang out. But I'm going to tell you that when I turned 38, I was living with my ex-husband at the time. And he was telling me, yeah, invite some of your friends for your birthday. Right. And I was like, they're probably going to be busy. Like, I didn't think anything of it. And then he starts contacting my friends saying that, hey, PX, I'm throwing a surprise party for PX. Come over. And he tells me that he hits up all my friends about this. And he's like, I don't know if any of them can make it. Well, 38 happens, right? Only one friend showed up, right? And this is my 38th birthday. And when his friends start coming, they're all like, oh, we didn't know it was your birthday. Thought this is a housewarming. So to me, I already knew my ex-husband was a fucking piece of shit. Like, why are you going to tell one group housewarming and another group birthday? To me, you're terrible at surprises, because it was sad.
No effort, no trying. Come on.
And it was some manipulative bullshit, because in the end, he used that against me. And he's like, you have no fucking friends. And I'm just kind of like, I don't care if you think that. Like, you know, and I started crying.
Okay, first of all, PX has all the friends.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. Like, how dare you use that shit to make it seem like I don't have friends? And I know that I have friends. And I talked to my friends, like, after the relationship ended. They were telling me, like, dude, like, he told me this is what he said, you know, and it made it seem like it was another thing. Like, it wasn't a big deal as much as it was a big deal to you. And they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, but no one made it. But I was kind of like, that's okay. This is why I never really had birthday parties. I'm just kidding. and I'm okay with it. But now looking back, I was like, that was fucking fucked up. Like what he did to like manipulate me, to make me feel alone. Right. And to have like that I don't have anybody. I mean, my cousins showed up, which was cool, but they're my cousins. Yeah, they're automatic. They'll always be like, it's your birthday, we'll be there. You know?
I gotta do something big.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. 41 and done. Yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be exciting. I'm excited for this whole year. There's been so much that's happened and we're barely on the 12th day.
Yeah. I don't care about growing old. I like it. I celebrate it every year.
Yes.
I used to throw parties.
Embrace
all the time.
that shit.
I threw parties myself.
Yeah.
What did I do? Get people together.
Yeah. See, unity. That's your secret power. That's your superpower.
Until people were like, "That's weird of you." Like they should be doing stuff for you, Molly, not you throwing your own fucking party.
No, I don't think so. Though. To me, that just shows what type of person you are. You know, like. Me, I wouldn't expect anyone to throw anything for me, you know what I mean? But the fact that you're taking initiative because you yourself want your other friends to meet each other and be like, this person's great, great person, meet this great person, you know, instead of like random person who doesn't know all your friends but knows of them and be like, hey, do you want to go to Molly's birthday? Like, you know, like I feel like it coming from you makes it more celebratory, if so to speak, right? Unless they want to throw a surprise.
You know, just listening to you and watching you, I can't believe that you are an introvert's hermit.
Oh yeah, no, I am. Yeah.
Stays alone all the time. I never got that from you. Never got that from you. Yeah. And maybe that's why I invited you all these things. So they're like,
she seems like she's down.
Yeah, she's down. That
I am. I am down. I'm that bitch.
And makes me feel special because you don't normally do that with other people.
I don't. And it's funny. One of the comics, shout out to Gloria Magana. She's like, how, like, 'cause, you know, we're posting all that shit from Vegas. She's like, how come we've never gone to Vegas?
Sorry, other comics. Yeah. I know you're a little jealous.
Well, and I feel like sometimes it's timing, right? Like we're booked, we're going somewhere else, you know, or sometimes we're not in the same area, whatever. And in this specific case, I want to say she was in a different country. I want to say she was like in Mexico. So I was like, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. We asked her.
Yeah.
We asked her.
And this was super, not really last minute, but it was pre-planned a couple of months before, and I'm so glad I went. And it was one of those things like, girl, I'm broke as fuck, but let's go. Yes. and she even called me the day before. We were like, hey, we're all kind of going to be on that broke shit. So we're going to be doing a lot of walking. And I was like, I'm with it. Let's go. And we did do a lot of walking. There was a lot of walking
until it was like 40 miles. And
So,
and hungry. We were hungry.
And fucking, you're already looking up spots about to eat when we go back to Vegas.
I'm walking with the phone and Yelp in front of me. You know, that's like I prepared this. I did not know that I was going to win some money though.
I know.
And yeah, I paid for all you can eat lobster buffet with that money.
That's fancy. It's fancy. Very fancy, huh? Well, we're going to repeat that. We will repeat that. And thank you so much for being on the podcast. I'm glad you finally came on.
This was so fun. I love you.
I love you more. You're the best.
You're the best.
And then all the comics are going to be like, fucking hi.
They're so
What's
gross.
wrong with you guys? You guys are like all of a sudden all attached. We're like, yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
It's a twofer now. It's a twofer. Well, thank you so much again for being on the Pretty Xtreme podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Where can they find you again?
Follow me on my Instagram, Sokhom, Molly Sokhom.
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 And any upcoming shows that we should know about before
next week in Pacifica at Winters.
Oh yeah, we are by next Thursday.
Yeah,
so.
and of course me and PX are booked.
I know, booked on the show.
This is also why other comics, okay, we do a lot of shows together, so you might see us together. And you know, tonight I'm not even on a show, but I'm hanging out.
Yeah, and try to catch us, because then if you get us together, that's going to be a really special time. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. much, Molly, for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. Have a wonderful life.